Well, we had a big number of people coming here.
And Juan, let me say that Olga Andrianova here, my colleague, she will review our talks and send the response.
Okay, perfect.
Hello, colleagues.
Hello, Olga.
Hello, how you doing? Yes,
Fine.
great. Yeah, Elva is going to present some slides and we will start the presentation. If Lena is not there, we are going to start with the recording presentation of Dimitri Dubina. Okay.
Hi, welcome everyone to our virtual Saturday Research Academy Symposium. This talk will be recorded. I'm Dr. Elba Sepulveda and I will be the moderator today. Please fill out the participant survey. That is the link that you received while you were on the waiting room. Right now, I'm gonna send that link again. So it is very important that you fill that. Also, I'm gonna present you Dr. Aratia, who is gonna talk about our symposium today. And let's welcome everyone.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Sepulveda. And good morning to everybody from this part of the world, and good afternoon to our colleagues from Russia. Okay. So this is going to be the last meeting of the Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund research, and this is going to be the symposium. Okay, I have to thank, you see, all the people who is helping us to develop this presentation, the conference. Is Leonid Sutov, he is from Moscow State University, he's right here. Elva Sepulveda, that also she's going to be the technical person dealing with the presentations. Also, the research mentor who come up with this product, Fabiola Pagan, Angel Marquez, Natalia Rosado, Sade Peralta, she is from Dominican Republic, Melissa Rivera, Diego Garcia, Olesia, Markukova from Russia, Denis Gusev from Russia, and Andrew Rimarseyevsky from Russia. Okay, that's the team together with us, the coordinators that we put together this symposium. Okay, the next. All right, here is the list. You see, we can see the list of all the presenters that we have in this meeting. Okay, so for the evaluators, okay, we have different evaluators, and this is the form that they will fill for each student. Okay, so in general, each student will have 5 minutes to present. We will have an electronic, you see, a time machine that the student will know exactly where they are in terms of timing. And also, they will have 2 minutes for the question that judges will ask the presenters. Okay, so I think that's about what we have to say in terms of the rules for the symposium. And I thank very much everybody who is part of this meeting now, that we have so far about 39 attendance. So it's a very interesting one. All right, Elva.
Yes,
So,
I want to add to that we will have an evaluation form also for the participants to evaluate the presenters. So I shared with you not only the participant survey, but also a small survey that you can give us feedback. We know that we are going to have a panel of judges that will be evaluating all participants, but we want to have some feedback from you, because that will help others to increase or to improve their skills.
all right. Okay, so I'm going to be the moderator calling for the student. So I will call Vlatlena Afamaseva if she is in the meeting or not. Because if she's not in the meeting, okay, we will go with a recording presentation by Dimitri Dubina. I believe Elva, she's not in the meeting, right?
Right, it's not in the meeting.
Okay, so let's go then with the Dimitri Dubina's presentation. Is a recorded one. All right.
Do anybody or do everybody is looking at the video right now? Okay, give me a thumbs up so I can see. Okay, so I'm gonna present the first one. And I'm gonna say before starting that you have another, another participant among all of you that is called Blue Sky Timer. So in that particular person that is on the participant list, you will have the time, you will have the judges panel of question time, also the wrapping questions, and then you will see the next participant there, okay? And thank you so much for being here, and I will look forward for your presentation. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.
Okay. Elva, I don't hear the audio.
Okay, let me stop it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Hello, my name is Dmitry. I'm from Russia, High School of Economics University. Today I want to tell you about my project, software module for processing the electroencephalography signal for the software-hardware complex. Here is my poster. Now I will talk about my project and about each part of poster in detail. EEG, or electroencephalography processing, is important. Nowadays, when we are approaching the era of neural interfaces, this becomes especially important. The task of processing includes filtering the EEG signal and get features from extracted data. The problem is that the EEG signal is very noisy due to the electricity in the walls creating an electromagnetic field, our mobile phones, Wi-Fi and other sources of wireless signals, creating electromagnetic interference. All of this affects the EEG reading devices. Some of these problems can be solved by electromagnetic shielding, others by hardware and software mathematical filters. I'm going to tell about software ones. First of all, how does the EEG work? When the brain works, it arises potential in it. More actively the brain works, higher the potential. We get the EEG signal by measuring the difference potential between the reference ground electrode and the measured electrode. Neurons are disrupted towards the entry surface of the brain. Some neurons are closer to our electrode, some further. Non-invasive EEG reading methods can only read the potential of a group of neurons located under the electrode. Depending on the work, a group of electrons generate a signal of a certain frequency, called brain rhythms. There are several types of them, sorted by frequency. They are shown on the screen. All these rhythms mix and form an EEG signal. Any research of the EEG is research rhythms, so it is necessary to extract the rhythms that form EEG signal. One of the methods is Fourier transform. According to Fourier theory, any signal can be represented as a series of sinusoidal wave amplitudes and phases. The Fourier transform allows to decompose the original signal into sinusoids. Each sinusoid has a corresponding magnitude, phase and frequency. As a result, The Fourier transform sharply the temporal features of easily occurring frequency components, which allow clear the received signal from noise and interference in most significant components. The second method is wavelet transform. In fact, a wavelet is a wave function that is superimposed on the existing signal graph, thereby allowing to determine its properties in a particular section of the signal. There are more than 400 types of wavelets. However, in EEG analysis, just harmonic Morlet wavelets or Dobeshe wavelets are used. As a result of the wavelet transform is a local spectrum, the spectrum of the signal segment without loss in the frequency component. The method allows to analyze the signal spectrum in any part of the signal. As the following plot introduce some EEG data and result of data filtering by using Panteleev filter. You can see how much smoother it is. Such filtering allows to get rid of electromagnetic fields from the outside, for example, like electricity in the walls, which generates 50 Hz interferences. Filtration was performed using the Panteleev filter and Fourier transform. There are spectra of the EEG signal below, which highlight areas of rhythms frequencies, and the effect of the Panteleev filter is displayed on the second plot. As we can see, by smoothing the spectrum, we have changed the signal from the previous slide. The following scalegram was obtained by applying the wavelet analysis using the Morlet wavelet. It reflects the influence of different frequencies through the entry time interval, which allows to obtain more accurate data than simple Fourier transform. Also, here is the Panteleev filter formula. To conclusion, the Fourier transform and wavelet transform can be used to perform frequency analysis by decomposing the EEG data into a frequency spectrum. The spectrum can be used to compare the power of different EEG waves on a globally by Fourier transform or locally scale using the wavelet transform spectrogram. Methods can also create frequency filters like Panteleev and extract waveform data or filter the EEG signal from interference. Thank you, that's all.
Okay, Elba.
Yes, I'm here. So
Elba.
remember, yes, I'm going to say that you can give feedback using the form that is located here, okay? And I will let Dr. Aratia to talk.
Yeah, the next presenter is Vladlena Afamaseva. I'm not sure if she's in the room. Is she in the room?
Yes, I saw her.
Okay, okay, Vladlena, we are going to please share the screen. Dr. Elba Sepulveda will give you that, and you can start presenting your project. And I said that the preparation for the next one would be Oksana Batanova and Leonid Chastain. Be ready for the next presentation.
Hello, I have some problems. I need a few minutes to make my presentation on the video.
Okay, okay, we are going to give you the time. So, but we are going to go to the next presenter. Okay, Oksana Batanova, Leonid Chaskin. Are you there? Can you share? Yeah, can you share the screen? Can you share the screen, Elba, with them? So
yes, he can share.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so one moment.
Presentation.
All right.
Can you see our poster?
Yes.
Yes, we are seeing your poster. You can start.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. My name is Oksana Batonova. My colleague's name is Leonid Chashkin, and we're students of baccalaureate degree in information science and computation technology at National Research University High School of Economics in Russia. Okay, let's get started. Today, we would like to present to you our report on digital processing of hospital data based on IT instruments of Russian operation systems. It becomes important to explore the possibilities and advantages of Russian operating systems on the example of alt distribution based on the formation of a technical application and processing of multi-format hospital analysis data on open-pit mining objects. Our major purpose was to analyze using of Russian operating system for pre-processing spatial data in the management of georisks. I really hope that our research will have a great contribution to the society. And about its introduction, before using geospatial data, they should be processed. In particular, in order to analyze video from a drone with subsequent intelligent processing, for example, to assemble a database from training in neural networks, or to supplement terrain maps with 3D models to build a relief map, you first need to pre-process the source material. As already mentioned, there are several main areas in which work is underway on the source video for the mining industry, namely creating a database, either for further analysis or for use in deep learning neural networks. Integration with terrain maps, where the most important task is to keep the reference to spatial coordinates. Convenient interpretation of information for the end user, rather as an intermediate stage. Now we come to results, and I will hand over to my colleague, Leonid.
Thank you, Oksana. As a result, we built a digital 3D model of the Bronsky quarry, which is located near St. Petersburg in Russia, and the relief map of it, using the QGIS program in the Linux operating system. The accuracy of the model is by 50 to 60 meters, which already allows us to conclude about the features of the relief of the quarry. The data of the height of the quarry relief was taken from the SRTM project, a shuttle radar topology mission. As a conclusion, an important area of implementation of the important substitution strategy in the field of information systems and technologies is the use of domestic operating systems for preprocessing spatial data in the management of georisks. It is especially worth highlighting state organizations that already have recommendation and in some cases a requirement for the complete replacement of foreign IT projects. Alt-family distributions are becoming popular not only for the use of certain types of software or application packages at the level of federal structures and regional structures, but also for the mining sector enterprises themselves. This means that the development of the geodata analysis tools based on the Russian operating system like Alt Linux is becoming more relevant and important. As a continuation of this project, we would like to increase the accuracy of on this model by using photo and different video data. By doing so, it will be possible to analyze total monitoring hazards and risks. Furthermore, we will join the Linux team in order to improve the Russian operation system at Linux and contribute to all the world. In our opinion, Alt Linux is one of the best operating systems in the world, and we want also to invite you to join the Alt Linux team and improve our operating system with us. Thank you for your attention. We are ready to answer your questions.
Thank you very much, Leonid and Oksana. Now to the judges. Do you have any question for these two presenters? Angel or Elva? No answer from the judges.
No, I don't have questions.
All
No
right.
questions, Juan, no questions.
Perfect. Okay, let's move them to the next presenter. Let's see if Vladlena Afamaseva is ready or not.
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
ready? Perfect. Okay,
Yes, I'm ready.
Dr. Sepulveda is going to share the screen with you. All right.
Do you see my presentation?
Also, I will
Yes.
say that remember that we are having a timer. So when you hear a sound, the first sound that you will hear is very gentle. So it will give you three minutes. Then you will have another timer for the judges to add questions or to ask questions about the project. Then you will have another timer for 30 seconds that will add more time for you to wrap in the answers. So be aware of that, okay? Thank you.
All right, you can start, Vladlena.
Do you see my presentation? Yes.
Yes, we are seeing your presentation.
And can you see me?
Oh, yes, we see you in the,
Yes.
the window.
Okay. Okay. I am very sorry about my problems. So my name is Vladlena Afanasova, and my topic is relationship between length of the day and El Niño Southern Oscillation anomalies. The El Niño Southern Oscillation is a recurring climate model involving changes in water temperature in the central and eastern parts of the tropical Pacific Ocean. This phenomenon has an impact on the whole world. In 2016, a major El Niño event occurred, after which the Earth began to accelerate rapidly. This event suggested that perhaps Earth rotation and El Niño Southern Oscillation are interconnected. The purpose of our study is to find possible relationships between length of the day and El Niño Southern Oscillation and find an explanation for them. We have reviewed the monthly changes of the anomalies of the Nino 3.4 index and length of the day. The analysis showed that peaks were observed in 1972, 1982, 1994, and 2016, which coincide with El Niño Southern Oscillation and length of the day. Analysis of the spectra showed that El Niño Southern Oscillation and length of the day have the same peak for 20.8 period. The wavelet spectrogram of SOI index, which is directly related to El Niño Southern Oscillation events, also shows noticeable periodic fluctuation every 10-20 years. The North Atlantic Oscillation graph shows the peak of negative anomalies in 2016, which indicates the connection between the North Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. The Atlantic multidecadal oscillation graph in relation to the global temperature anomaly shows a maximum in 2016. In 2016, something happened that had an impact on the whole world. According Atlantic multidecadal oscillation graph, perhaps the rate of global warming will slow down. If all the phenomena under consideration are interconnected, we will be able to see a decrease in the rate of global warming in accordance with Atlantic multidecadal oscillation graph and changes in length of the day and in the Southern Oscillation, North Atlantic Oscillation in the near future. This suggests that perhaps all global phenomena represent a single ocean land atmosphere system. We thank the Scientific Caribbean Foundation and Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund for the support of our research. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Vladlena, for your presentation. Now the judges, do they have any question for Vladlena?
Could that frequency change if there any kind of climate change? associated with the Niño or Niña problems usually, which we see very often yearly by the hurricanes hitting all the area?
Valdena, did you?
The frequency change? That
Did you-
frequency
did-
change in years?
Did you hear the question?
Yes, I hear the question. The frequency is changed in years, yes.
Yeah. So the answer is yes, it's related to the patterns in the Pacific Ocean, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Any other question? All right, no questions, no more questions. Thank you very much, Valdena, again, and nice to see you, and
Thank
nice
you.
to have you in this symposium. All right, let's go to the
Thank you
next
very
group of, we have three presenters here, Andre, Eliana, and Maxine. So they will have 15 minutes, really, because 5 minutes for each one. So is anybody ready just to present this project?
I think Andrew
ready.
will represent most
okay.
of the talk.
Andrew, okay, go ahead, Andrew. Yes,
Okay, can you see my screen and my
Yeah.
camera?
yes, we are seeing your
Yeah.
screen right now. Yeah.
So my name Andrei, I'm a sophomore in Higher School of Economics from Russia. There are two other people in my project besides me, Maxim Kosevich and Elina Bolda, but they were unable to join us today.
All right.
I would like to talk about my project to develop a mobile application to treat eating disorders. It's not a research project, but I am interested in development and I would like to do something to help people with this disease. Eating disorders are a class of psychogenic behavioral syndromes. These mental disorders can have a significant impact on a person's life and activity because abnormal eating behavioral can cause physical hazards and complications. Some of my friends suffer from this disease. Besides, I know psychologists who specialize in treating this type of mental illness. During my interaction with them, I came to the conclusion that the methods that are used for treatment are currently most often ineffective. There is an opportunity to make the process of treatment more comfortable for both specialists and patients. So came the idea to develop a mobile application. During the development, interviews were conducted among people who suffer from this disorder and among psychologists. The necessary functions have been identified and should be included in the app. This is, for example, the possibility for patients to submit specialized reports on their mental or physical condition, to facilitate the collection of information by psychologists. The poster shows some of the application interface screens. The Flutter plus Firebase was chosen for development. These are the most effective tools for creating a mobile cross-platform application. In the development process, ready-made packages from PubDev site were used to simplify code writing. The application is currently under development and has implemented functionalities that the specialists wanted. It's currently being privately tested on the basis of several psychologists who have agreed to use it in their work. We are getting positive reviews right now. Future work will focus on improving the application experience of the patient and the specialist. There are different ways to do this. In the case of patient, an important task is still to create a gameplay system which would force as often as possible to enter the application and encourage completion of tasks and reports on their state or events. In the case of specialists, more tools need to be added at this point, such as treatment plan, which may include a diet, meditation, schedule, medication schedule, and more. To decide on the way forward, we are now collecting feedback from the people we are testing the app on.
Thank you for your attention. I'm ready to answer your question.
Yes, for the judges, are you ready just to ask question for Andre? Elba, Angel,
No, I don't have any questions right
all
now.
right.
No questions.
I can only add that today at night I was nervous and went to my refrigerator. Maybe these are the first, the first, how to say, features. Maybe I already will use your application in the nearest future. Eating disorder.
Now,
Just
Juan,
comment.
Yes.
Juan, since Borodin is addressing an eating disorder. Now, I don't know if he said so, I couldn't grasp it, but how often among people of their nation, how often are eating disorders? I mean, is this belongs to age problems or, you know, sex-related problems, male, female, or any other kind of probably people with knowledge or not knowledge? Where are these the eating disorders found?
Oh, yes, this is a question, Andrew. Do you
Can you repeat last part of your question?
Yeah,
I can translate. Он спрашивает о том, это возрастная проблема или это с полами связано, женщины, мужчины, где это встречается чаще?
Чаще всего это встречается у
In
женщин
English,
среднего возраста.
Yeah, English, so we can understand. Yeah, you can answer in English, Andrew. Okay.
I think most often it is in women of age about 20.
Okay, we have the same problem. Thank you.
Yeah,
we have the same problem.
Yeah, but normally when you do a research, right, you try to focus in a group, or maybe because you cannot just go to everybody. You see, that probably that was the question. You see, did you focus in a group of teenagers or growing up or middle people? You see, that was the question, really. Okay,
we don't focus on a group. We create application for all people who.
All people.
All
Okay.
people.
Okay. Okay. Thank you much, Andrew. All right. Let's move on then. Let's go to the next presenters. Is Koroshunova Daria. I'm not sure if my pronunciation is right, Leonid. Okay.
Yeah, Daria Хорошо. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's see if the presenter is here. All right. All right, the presenter. Yes. I never was sure if it was a male or female.
Can you see me?
But now I see you and you are a lady. So that's beautiful. Great. All right.
Can you see poster mine?
Yes. Yeah, we see your poster right now. Okay, you have 5 minutes. Remember, 3 minutes for presentation and 2 minutes for question. Yes. You can start talking.
Hello, I'm Daria Хорошунова. The topic of my research is shown on the poster.
Yes.
The data of the GRACE and GRACE follow-on satellites register anomalies of the Earth's gravitational field, mass anomalies. Including using them, they determine changes in the mass of ice on the planet. For the study, monthly grids of arrays TELUS GRACE level 3 were taken, which contain recalculated anomalies of the Earth's gravitational field into an equivalent water thickness. Based on this data, the impact of the degradation of the Greenland and Antarctica ice cover on the change in length of the day is considered. The Greenland and Antarctica ice sheets have undergone marked changes for the past 2 decades as a result of warming global effects. The liquid water equivalent thickness of Greenland and Antarctica has decreased by 1 meter in average from 2002 to 2017. You can see it on these maps. Using the GRACE and GRACE follow-on data sets, the obtained results demonstrated that Greenland mass lineal trend is minus 274.7 gigaton per year, and Antarctica mass lineal trend is minus 146.8 gigaton in year. The contribution of the lineal trend to the total dispersion variability is large and amounts to 98%. If we look at the chart after removing the trend, we will see that annual fluctuations remains, which are in path with changes in the length of the day. The post-glacier uplift model indicates that the Earth's compression J2 should decrease, so the length of the day should become shorter by tenths of millisecond. However, after 2005, the situation was changed. The Earth's compression began to increase and the length of the day began to grow. This can be seen in this graph. Probably this is due to global warming trends, including the melting of the glacier of Greenland and Antarctica, whose meltwater entering the ocean changes the redistribution of masses on Earth. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you very much. Any question for Daria? Angel, you had any question? Or?
Well,
yes.
Since this is probably a situation relating to their country, okay? And she was mentioning something about the millisecond range of effects. How do you measure those changes in the glacier? Do you have more ice, less ice, or do you see any other way of measuring the changes?
Yes.
The change in the speed of rotation, the Earth is extremely important for navigation, astronomy, geodesy. I asked your question.
I can comment. Он спрашивает, как вы видите изменение льда? Объясните, что это гравитационное поле Земли. Детектор.
How do you measure those on glaciers? How do you measure that on the glaciers? One glacier or two, whatever?
Satellites GRACE and GRACE follow on register anomalies gravity field our planet. We can see change mass ice because it is mass.
Dr. Sadov, is using satellite data? That's mainly what I want to know. Satellite data, or do they go and visit the glaciers?
Yes.
Yes,
So,
may I comment? It's satellite data measuring mass, but we know that glacial contribution is very large in terms of Earth rotation. So it's only part of contributions, but one of the most important parts. And I have a question to you. Is your plot on the left? So we see that Greenland contributes 2 times more than Antarctica into melting, isn't it? Гренландия или Антарктида сильнее вклад вносит?
yes,
Greenland.
this one.
260 gigatons per year, Greenland. Okay,
Yes.
that's nice.
Okay, I
Okay.
see.
Okay.
She's using satellite data. She's using satellite data.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it now because it wasn't clear in the figure. So
Okay.
thank you very much. Yeah, I now get that. But nobody visits the glacier. You don't go there and see them or measure something in there, neither.
Ты не ходила туда, на ледники?
No.
Yeah, I had a
Okay,
question.
thank you. Thank you.
Daria, I had a question.
Thank you for your question. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I had a question, Daria. These images, of course, are from the satellites, but are Russian satellites, or you go to the community in general to get this information?
Немецко-американский.
Program NASA, American and Germany satellites.
All right. Well, that's
Yeah,
very
but they were
important. Yeah,
they
that's very
were
important.
launched from Plesetsk Cosmodrome in Russia. They were launched
Yes,
from Russia.
точно.
Okay, all right. That's important, you see, because the audience will say, well, this has different sources, and you had to mention satellites from Russia, from Germany, and from NASA. And that will be the answer, okay? Perfect. All right, let's move to the next one. The next one is Ivan Gevorskov and Alexander Osipov. I'm not sure if they are here or who is going to present. Thank you much, Darji.
We are going to present both.
Both, perfect. Good.
So just some seconds, please.
Yes.
Do you want me to program 10 minutes?
Yes, 10 minutes. Yeah, because there are 10 minutes for them.
My camera is not responding. So sorry, I'll be without my camera.
Without your camera. Yeah. All right. So we had your picture in the book, so we can see who you are, right? All right. Let's go, Alexander.
What I need to do?
Yeah, you are ready
Go
to present.
on.
You can start presenting.
Okay, so I will start, and I'm start with introduction. So the internet is a source of a huge amount of information, and every year information becomes more and more. So while you need to get information about one single object, the manual extraction time is insignificant. But when you need to get data about a lot of objects, its time increases many times. To solve this problem, you can write a program that automatically extracts the required information from the internet. Such a program is called a crawler. The main problem of extracting information from the internet is a lack of structure. Despite some facilitating moments, such as typical names of the page of the site, on each site, the information may be presented in different ways. Some of its part may be presented or missing, or even despite the visible identical structure, the page code may be completely different. This is the main difficulty, since for each case, for each website, you have to write a new parser. So some theory about crawlers. Data extraction from web pages was divided into two large tasks. The first task involves identifying the page that contains the necessary information. The second, the data extraction itself. In addition to the above task, there are also additional tasks caused by the requirements of the goals. For example, the task of finding a common data structure, or the task of ensuring uniformity, which is necessary to filter out unnecessary information, or the task of combining data that connects data obtained from the different source. That was some theoretical information about crawlers, and now I will turn this over to Ivan, who will speak about our realization.
Ivan, yeah, go ahead, Ivan. Yeah.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The best language for writing crawler is Python. One of the most popular web scraping instruments in it is the Scrapy framework. It allows to access the web page required data from HTML code using XPath or CSS queries. It is the fastest among competitors, which is very useful when processing a large number of pages. The difference in runtime between requests via Scrapy and requests with another framework was 3 times the difference when crawling all the required pages. The order of information extraction can be structured as follows. First, all internal links on the main page are iterated over. All of them that do not contain planes are eliminated, and suitable ones are written to a file. Fortunately, as a source of information, we choose a site airlinesinform.ru. One of the advantages of this site is that the page contains information about aircraft, have a specific URL, commercial aircraft, and after that aircraft name. If duplicate links are encountered during the selection process, they are also eliminated. After receiving all the links, the second crawler starts working. It sequentially iterates over all links from the file and collect data from the table on each page. We can say that this crawler works with almost structured information. Its target is only data from one table, which is on every page. However, the content of the table itself may differ. It may contain or conversely be missing some fields that are present in tables on other pages. Also, the table can contain several aircraft models. For this, a data template was created that contains all possible fields in all tables. As the next table is parsed, the found values are entered into the structure. Other fields remain empty. In a single template, greatly facilitates further work with data. Thank you for your attention.
Ivan, thank you very much. And I think you, Ivan and Alexander. So the judges have any question for these two presenters? Oh, Angel, you had a question?
Yes.
Perfect.
Now, for some people like Juan Arradia, all the information is important.
Yes.
So, do you have a threshold, or do you know how we can play some kind of rate on which is most important or less important data?
Well, during our work, all data that we crawled was important for us. If we talk about abstract information, so I think that there should be some instruments for it, like maybe neural networks.
Yeah, but Ivan, you mentioned, and I'm looking into your sources. Those we have one, I believe it can be general, but the second one is just for the Russian because it's in Russian, you see? And you have to be careful here because not everybody speaks Russian, okay? So probably what Dr. Angela Arcelay is saying, yeah, but you have to give a specific, at least the community information that is available, okay? But you have to be specific about that, all right? So because if somebody wants to go on with this methodology, yeah, but they will have something where to start looking for, okay? So you have to give to the community the opportunity to go beyond what you are presenting, all right?
Okay.
I have a question for you,
Yeah.
Ivan. How did you select the places that you were visiting using Python, and how hard is it for you to select those places, those sites?
Well, we need to crawl the information about aircraft. Our the technical characteristics, and we find a good site with a lot of models of aircraft, and quite good structure. So from the main page, we visited a list of pages that contains models that we need. We targeted for the URL.
Yes, and the needed information was in tables, so it was easy to extract.
All right, perfect. All right, okay, thank you very much, guys. I think you did a good job, Ivan, Alexander. All right, let's go to the last one of Leonid group, is Katarina. Shalina, is Katarina here?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. Okay, you can start sharing your presentation. Okay, Dr. Elba Sepulveda is going to allow you to do that, right?
Can you see?
Yes, we start seeing your poster.
Hello. My name is Ekaterina Shalina, and in my study I used the Gaia database, which covers about 1 billion stars. The Gaia telescope we can see in this picture. At the bottom is a picture of the SDQL request from the third release of the data I used. The first object to explore was a star in the constellation Ficus, which a white subgiant. For her, we were able to establish an approximate color, distance, and the direction of motion of the star. It's also double stars. In this picture, we can see these stars, and the vertical axis is rotations, and the horizontal axis is the declination. And these photos, we can see the star and two neighborhood stars, also double in relation to each other. For them, a plot was made in 3D, so that the stars didn't overlap each other. In this plot, we can have a 3D. The vertical axis is distance, horizontal is declinations and directions. Here we can see the directions of motions of the star, the distance to it 318 light years, and the star magnitude of 4.8. The second object was a pulsar in the center of the Crab Nebula. Crab Nebula is located in the constellation Taurus, which was spotted in 1054. This pulsar has a magnitude 16.5 and the rotation speed around its axis 13 revolutions per second. Also, the distance to it 6,050 light years. It's a remnant of a supernova explosion and has strong radiation of the radio ranger. And the Crab Nebula is this we can see Crab Nebula and this pulsar. And Crab Nebula have a strong in gamma radiation. And over here, the red clouds are highlighted when star formated is. I'm so sorry. Yes, star formation is taking a place. the star magnitude have a 8.4. And in the Messier catalog has named this M1. For all this, I needed study adequate to compile queries and master MATLAB. That's all. Thanks for your attention.
All right, then any question for Ekaterina? Any question for Ekaterina? No questions.
Yes, one.
Perfect.
Ekaterina, we see part of your conclusions and results, okay? Now, if there any kind of astronomical event, like a planet is moving toward some star or something like that, would you be able to predict that or to see that, please?
Поняли вопрос? Если
Можно,
есть
пожалуйста?
планета, если будет планета у звезды, можно ли это как-то увидеть? Скажите, что тогда надо поднимать несколько наблюдений Гая и смотреть вот эти затмения.
Yes, we can see this. Я просто...
How?
Я не знаю, как я могу это на английском сказать. We need upstairs the Gaia archive.
Can you predict any kind of situation after the movements, or if if there's something going on with the planet or some asteroid reaching or hitting any other object?
May I comment on this, if you let me?
Yes, yes, Leonid, go ahead.
The problem is that Gaia is making survey, so it is rotating and looking at one and the same area in the sky, let's say from month to month. For asteroids, it's not relevant to track them, but if you need to track extrasolar planet, it's generally possible. I mean, you can see precise position and magnitude of star, let's say every month. And if it is changing, you will detect it with very high accuracy. We actually have such scientific goal to track a white dwarf rotating around one star, but still not yet managed to query this from database. It's a goal for the future.
It sounds that could be a future work for her. And my
Exactly.
congratulations. Yeah, my congratulations. Since she put so nice measurements and plots, so it's just a question of how you could apply that. My congratulations to her.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Leonid, for your compliment. All right. So this is the end for your group, Leonid.
Juan.
Before, yes, sir.
Juan.
Yes.
This is Angel Arcelade.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Leonid Sotov. My congratulations.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed
we've been doing,
different
anyhow,
subjects.
we've been doing that for years with students. It's not an easy task, okay? It takes a lot of time, but your students were so well prepared and they got very fine projects and they went to solve the problem and what they wanted to do. So my congratulations to you and to them. First to them,
thanks,
then to you, because it's a very hard task, and keep going, please. They need that.
And good luck to your students also.
Yes.
Well, anyhow, we're not on that anymore, but we enjoy that whenever we work on it.
Yes. Okay.
I will
Leonid,
say,
Leonid, pardon, excuse me, Elba. Leonid, before we go, because we would like to have the picture of the student, right? So a group picture will be interesting. Why don't you talk to your students so everybody show their faces? So Elba will take a picture, okay? Because
Давайте все камеры включим.
If we do later, probably some student will go, okay? But this is the opportunity. Okay, guys.
Agree.
Yes. Okay, Elva, let's see when the student has their faces. All right, so open their.
Давайте включаем камеры и фоткаемся.
Yeah.
У Олеси
Everybody.
есть камера?
I would like to see all the students. You see, like Brianna, Janira, Bladena, Olga. Okay, Olga. I think she's an attendant. Alicia, Oksana, and Normari. Okay, all those. Yeah, I still Norma Caraballo, Normari Caraballo. Okay, I will see their faces. Natalia Rosado, Melissa Rivera, Marisol Alape, Lidia Morales, Leida Lopez, Keishla. Good morning, Keishla. It's pretty early in California, right? Yeah. Yes. Luis Yade, I would like Ivan. Yeah. Please open your camera. Okay. Francis. All right.
Иван с Леонидом куда-то делись.
Yes. Let's see if we have more students here. Yes. Elva, I think you can take a picture, right?
Okay, let's look at the camera.
Yes. Look the camera, guys. Perfect. Is it? You ready, Elva?
Let me take another one, please.
Yes. Yes. Great.
Okay, I was. I'm sorry. There is somebody that has their.
Okay, I think now you have to close their camera, close their mic, because it's going to be an echo. Okay, if something is open. Yeah. All right. I think
well, I want to say that I enjoy a lot all the presentations and your posters, all of them were very well explained. So that's why I didn't have a lot of questions. I know that many of you had spent a lot of time working on this, and I really, really appreciate that you did this and participated in this symposium. Thank you so much for Leonid to be the mentor and to be here guiding them. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you for organizing us.
Yes. All right, let's go to the next group. Okay, we are going to start with Marisol, and I'm going to check Keishla Sanchez is here, right? Keishla?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. Good morning, then. Keishla, we had another one, Maria Terron. I'm not sure if Maria Terron is in the group. No? Maria Terron, yeah, he's not. So, Angel, can I ask you to do some evaluations for this particular group? If you can do it.
You have to tell me ahead because you sent me the ones you mentioned.
Yeah, I sent you. I didn't send you the, but I think
Gabriela. Okay, let's see one. Let's see one. You meant Gabriela Molina for myself, Eva Mendez, Yanira Nunez, Jorge Vasquez, and Deborah. Ooh, this is the one you sent. But if you would need to do someone else, you have to tell me beforehand or tell me on the moment, please.
Okay, now because we are having only Keishla Sanchez for this one, and she will do it. So we will do it right now with Marisol Alape Toro. So we need another view, another evaluator. Okay.
So tell me.
I will do some note. Okay.
Which is her name? Which is her name, please?
Marisol Alape Toro.
Marisol Alape Toro. Yeah, she's the first one on the list.
Yeah, she's the first in that list of the schedule of event, following by Brian Aponte, following by Adrian Escalera, Leida Lopez, and Normari Martinez.
Okay, it will be good for us if you tell me which one you meant me to make an evaluation, just do it the second time, so I will be ready and I will do it, please.
Yeah, well, I will ask you for that group because that's the group that Keisla is going to do it. Okay.
So you mean I should evaluate the next group? This is what you said later.
Yeah, Keisla, we are going to focus in her evaluation but we would like to have a backup, a second evaluator.
Okay, Juan.
And
We'll
you
get
will
in
be
gears. We'll get in gears. Thank you.
Okay. So you had experience and probably just by presenting and seeing the poster, you will have a good view and a good.
I got a little bit less experience than you. Remember that?
Well, you are not a teenager, right? Not like me. I'm an old guy. All right, perfect. Okay, Marisol, are you ready? Marisol?
Hello, yes, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes, Dr. Sepulveda is going to share the screen, so you will be ready to present. So you will have 3 minutes because you are one person for that particular project, okay? And 2 minutes for.
Okay, should I share my screen?
Yes, please.
All right. Here I go.
Yeah, great, Marisol.
Here, can you see it?
Not yet. Now I see it. Now we see your poster.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing good. My poster title is The Development of a New Era, Personalized Medicine and Stem Cells. And as you can see, this is my poster.
Yes.
And this is my abstract.
Yeah.
What's something as unique as each and every one of us that doesn't interfere with the well-being of other beings? Well, to be more specific, my research question was based around the possibility to create medicine based on our own genomes while replacing animal testing with stem cells. My hypothesis was based on implementing a new approach that will bring an end to what seems like a never-ending cycle of unnecessary drug abuse, as well as animal abuse. Over 100 million animals get killed due to animal testing. And if you want to see the abuse that they endure, you can read the third point in my presentation. The biggest funder of research, the NIH, also known as the National Institute of Health, spends nearly half its annual budget, meaning $19.6 billion, on animal studies that 90% of the time fail to provide treatments for humans. And on figure number 1, we can observe the timeline of the genome era, which is how we discovered DNA, how we discovered genes, and how we got to genomes. To provide this study, I had to firstly search on PubMed, Google Scholar, and JSTOR databases. Then I recompiled all the necessary information and developed questions about the topic. Restrictions were made in the 2018-2022 timeline, along with keywords such as genomic sequences, animal testing alternatives, personalized medicine, stem cells, and drug development. That led me to establishing a hypothesis that made me analyze the problem, search for resources to provide, and justify my answers to conclude the findings. We started from no testing to animal testing, but we can take a much safer and healthier approach. We can observe on figure number 3 that with this new alternative, we would be isolating the patient's stem cells and treating them with reprogramming factors until they're able to produce a variety of cell types in which you could test the safety and efficiency of the drug in development. An example for the past image would be targeting cancer cells, in which we can use the immunotherapy and pathway-based targeted treatment that submits the patient through a tumor cell extraction that leads to tumor biomarker studies. Then they can decide the perfect fit for the patient, whether it be with a new drug development or making more tests to get a closer look while in therapy. If it were to be a new drug development, instead of it being tested on animals as per usual, a new approach would be taken. It would be tested on the patient's stem cells, making it safer for the patient when they're given the drug. We can discuss and conclude that when in critical health, personalized medicine is a more precise way to treat a condition. Making it accessible for us to study how genomics are used in personalized medicine, especially to those in Latin America, and exploring the types of genome mapping, the genome mapping includes my future work. Here I listed the top of my 5 references. And I'd like to express my gratitude towards Juan F. Arratia and the Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund for creating this opportunity that not only benefits me as an individual, but also as an academic. To my excellent mentor, Fabiola Pagan, to my dad, Fabiola Benitez, to my brother, Juan Francisco Alape, and overall, I'd like to thank the Research Academy that has brought me an experience like never before. And I'm proud to say that I was part of such a unique program. Thank you for your attention. Are there any questions?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Marisol. Great.
Thank you.
Judges, Keisla, do you have any question?
Yeah, just a comment and then I have a question. Yes, what you said about your conclusion that using personalized medicine is a better way to target certain types of therapy. But right now, the FDA hasn't approved any of the stem cell therapies that can treat certain conditions. So that's the thing about what we use animals. It's more an efficient way to create small molecule drugs that will be cheaper for humans, because there's this type of therapy called CAR T cell therapy, in which we extract cells from the patient and we create certain antibodies that can target tumor cells in that specific patient. The thing with that type of therapy is that it's very expensive and it's not covered by any healthcare companies. So people from low-income countries wouldn't be able to get that type of treatment the way we're doing it now. So my question would be, how do you think we can get to that way in which we can use stem cell therapy or other types of personalized therapy and make it affordable for people that don't have health insurance or that live in low-income countries?
Yes, well, thank you so much. Well, as I said in my discussion and conclusion, it would need to be a critical condition. So you're not going to treat someone with specialized medicine if they just catch a cold or they just have something that can be easily resolved with an easy drug. However, the problem right now is that with critical conditions, when let's say someone's in chemotherapy, they need a lot of drugs because they need to combat side effects of other drugs. So it's an unnecessary cycle of continued drug use, and it goes on and on and on and never stops. And thank you so much for your question. It's a great question. And also, I think first we need to normalize it, which it's not going to happen for a few years because, as you said, it needs a lot of funding and it's not available to everyone and it's not happening everywhere. So firstly, we need to make it available for those patients with critical conditions and make it more viable for anyone else with those conditions. And then in a few years, once it's normalized in the long run and the funds have been already spent, then it could be something more normalized that anyone with not necessarily a certain economic status can use.
Thank you very much, Marisol. Great response.
Thank you.
Angel, do you have, or Elva, you had any other question for Marisol?
No questions, Juan.
Perfect. Elva, no questions? All right, the audience, Leonid, any questions? No? All right.
No.
Thank you very much, Marisol. Good
Thank
work.
you.
Good work. Okay, let's go to the next presenter, Brian Aponte Caraballo. All right, Brian, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Perfect. So go on with your poster. Let's. Oh.
You can share your screen now.
Yes, I am trying to look for it.
Yes. Do you know how to do it? Just
No.
go to the green screen, share green screen, click there. Okay.
Yes, I'm there, but I don't know how this
connect.
program functions.
Yeah. Elva, can you help him?
Yes, you need to press share screen, and once you have that press, you will have a lot of selections, and then you will need to select your PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, yes.
Okay, let me see if I can do it.
You will see share screen at the bottom. Once you press that, you will see different options, and then you will need to select PowerPoint.
Okay, I think I have it.
Okay, we go for yes.
Can you see it?
Now we see it. Yes.
Okay. Let me see the functions. Okay. I'll start. Hi, my name is Javier Aponte Caraballo, and I am going to present you my research titled Developing a New Technique for the Detection of the Bacteria E. coli. This is my abstract. Introduction, research question. Will the hemoglobin of the E. coli catalyze the mixture with luminol, helping the mass harvest of agricultural products, significantly reducing diseases and loss of product worldwide? Hypothesis, discover if by using the chemical mixture with luminol, the E. coli bacteria possessing hemoglobin can be seen on a surface with the naked eye, creating a new method for identifying E. coli. Introduction, figure 1. In this figure, we can see the negative effect of the bacteria E. coli, such as diarrhea, respiratory illness, urinary tract infections, and bloodstream infections, when it comes out of the digestive tract. It also has positive effects, but these are only employed if the bacteria is found on the gastrointestinal tract, as it helps on the digestive process. Methods, figure 2, research process. Search on Google Scholar the question. The research article were searched inside a timeline from 2018 to 2022. Keywords, luminol, E. coli, and chemical mixture. Finally, establish a hypothesis and start developing the proposal. Results, table 1, expenses for the completion of the project. The total cost of all the material necessary is around $1,000. Results, figure 3, luminol 3D structure. The luminol is irritant. Its molecular formula is C8H7N3O2, molecular weight 177.16, and physical description, yellow crystal or light beige powder. Finally, melting point 606 to 608 degrees Fahrenheit. Results, the pathogenic E. coli divide into pathotypes. Among them, there are 6 characterized by being associated with diarrhea and are known as diarrhenic E. coli. We will be working with Shiga toxin E. coli, STEC, and this is the most common among the 6 pathotypes since it transmits through the ingestion of all kinds of food, which significantly can affect the state of human society around the world. Results, proposed method, bacteria incubation. Take a sample from the vial of E. coli bacteria with the loop. Carry on aseptic technique, perform the inoculation of the bacteria. Incubate for a time of 72 hours at a temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. At the end of the 72 hours, take a sample of E. coli with the loop, and then do the frotting. Results, proposed methods, luminol mixture. Proceed to start creating the chemical compound with luminol. Measure 35 millimeters of distilled water and place it in a beaker. Weigh out 2 grams of potassium hydroxide and pour into the beaker. Dissolve the solution. Then 0.3 grams of luminol will be weighed out and poured into the beaker. Dissolve the solution together with the luminol. Add 35 millimeters of hydroxide peroxide, 3%, and mix everything. Then pour into a spray bottle, and finally start the E. coli bacteria experiment by spraying the slide containing the bacteria once with the chemical compound. Discussion and conclusion. The main reason for non-experimenting was the lack of sources, like not having the correct laboratory and the money needed to complete it. Collecting and analyzing the data will be the focus for when having the corresponding materials. Finally, the researcher will conclude that the E. coli will grow using the luminol chemical compound if the hypothesis is supported. Making this possible will support that many lives can be saved and the economy around the world will be better. Future work, expand the material utilizing this procedure, expose other bacteria affecting human health to a mixture with luminol, and aim to perform additional tests using other chemical components that may produce similar effect to the luminol. These are my references. Acknowledgement. I want to thank my family and the Department of Science and Math, especially Professor Milagros Carrere Perez, for always supporting me through this process. Dr. Arratia for handing out this fantastic opportunity, Fabiola Pagan for mentoring me throughout the research, and the citizen for the grant. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?
Yes, Keisla, you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question. What is the application of this new method? Do you want to use this as a form of clinical testing? Like if a patient has E. coli, you can take a sample and then use this in a clinical laboratory to identify the strain?
No, not as a clinical form, just as if in the market, before they send it to the market, they can take a group of any vegetable, and if the luminol works, it's supposed that if the bacteria is present on the vegetable, it's supposed to be bright blue. So you can discard with a better method the product before handling out to the people and for the market.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any question, Angel?
I think the student is just making a an in vitro test. No, is that right? Brian?
I don't know what means an in vitro test.
In vitro test means that you are not using any human specimen or any
No, any.
no. Okay, so this is just a prediction of that it could help people. Ain't that right?
Yes, but this work as in forensics, when they are working in a case with blood, they use luminol with blood to see if the blood is there or not. But how does this work? Blood has hemoglobin, and inside blood, there is iron. The iron is a catalyst. And I searched that the E. coli bacteria is one of the few bacteria that have hemoglobin. And besides, in my hypothesis, if the bacteria have hemoglobin, it could have a catalyst too, and work with the luminol, resulting that we can see the bacteria glowing with enough luminol.
But hemoglobin, most normal cells have iron and many other ions. So that's my question. Why? So this is
what did you say? Can you repeat it?
Yeah, usually red cells, they have iron, and live cells have iron. So you know, if you want to spot that in a live sample, then you gotta screen those. No.
I don't quite understand the question.
Besides the bacteria, you're measuring the E. coli, okay?
Yeah.
Which has the iron, but in a real test, I'm asking you if we're going to a real test, there will be many other cells that have the iron. So that's why I'm asking if there any other way to screen it or not, but probably not.
No, it will only be in the bacteria.
Okay, thank you.
With the vial.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
There are not going to be any other things that could communicate, contaminate the piece.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. Let's go next to the next presenter is Adrian Escalera Rivera. Adrian, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. You can share your screen with us. Go to the process.
Yes.
Yes.
I think another participant is sharing the screen, so I can't.
No, wait. Yeah, Dr. Sepulveda.
Yes, he can share right now. Even with the other participant sharing, now it will let you.
Yeah.
I think it.
Can you do it?
Yes.
Adrian?
It says. I think I'm having trouble. It says options and preferences, security and privacy to grant access.
Okay, try it again.
Elba, try it again. Try share screen again, and then the next screen you will select the PowerPoint.
It says host disable attendee screen sharing.
Yeah, screen sharing.
Okay, try it again because sometimes it needs to refresh.
No, you can.
No, it didn't allow me. I can fix the problem and
okay. We are going to give you a more time. Okay, at the
Okay,
end of this
let me try. Yes, I'm able to share my screen right now. So you will be able to share your screen. There is nobody, you know, sharing their screen.
Yeah, but it says that I have to open my system preferences, security and privacy to grant access.
No. Yeah,
I'm afraid
now
that.
you,
No.
now,
You need to look at the bottom of the screen. You will see a green bottom.
Yeah, I'm touching it.
Okay. So let
And
me.
when I touch share, it says allow Zoom to share your screen. So I'm gonna fix it and then I will present. Is that okay?
okay.
Yes. Try that one.
Michael,
I can connect from my iPad and share it.
well, all right. Elba, I think Elba, let's move to.
So you are already on Zoom. You need to share your screen in a way that you can share PowerPoint. You don't need to go to the website. You need to just to go to your screen, the one not there. Just press the Zoom link or the Zoom icon that you have at the bottom. You see on the right side near the question mark.
Yeah, I'm connecting from my iPad and I now see it. I'm gonna share my screen.
Can you press the one that is on the bottom?
It says that I cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing.
Dr. Arratia, you're
What?
sharing your screen.
So let me, I'm going out, all right?
Even if other participant is sharing, if you just share your screen, will stop the other participant at this moment.
No, it didn't allow me. It said the same message.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one. All right. Leila Lopez Morales. Leila, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Okay, can you share the screen or not?
Yeah, of course. 1 second. It says that I can't share the screen while another participant is sharing. It's giving me the same message as the previous presenter.
Let me see it.
Okay.
Can you?
Because the other presenter was sharing his screen and he didn't notice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that again.
Wow.
The person that was sharing this, it was Dr. Arratia.
I was sharing.
Yes.
No, but I'm not sharing now.
Right now, stop sharing, but you were sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, now we see your screen, Leila.
All right.
Yes.
So good morning, my name is, Good morning, my name is Laila Lopez, and today I will be presenting my research project titled Lack of Sleep and Its Effects on Students' Academic Performance, Learning Ability, and Memory. This is my poster. This is the abstract and introduction. Have you ever wondered what would happen if a student doesn't get the necessary amount of sleep required to function efficiently during the day, and how this may affect different aspects of their academic life? Well, this research project aims to do just that, to analyze the negative effects that a lack of sleep can have on a student's academic performance, cognitive performance, learning ability, and memory. The researcher hypothesized that an insufficient amount of sleep can negatively affect students' academic performance, learning ability, and memory. According to an article posted in 2018 by the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, commonly known as the CDC, 72.7% of high school students actually reported insufficient sleep, in addition to a 20% who reported sleeping fewer than 6 hours per night. This is why it is important for students to be educated on the negative consequences that not sleeping correctly or incorrect sleeping habits may have on both their mental and physical health. As for the methods utilized in this investigation, the researchers selected relevant scientific articles from the Google Scholar database with a restriction to articles in English, with a time limit of 2017 until present day. Combinations of different terms such as sleep, academic performance, cognitive performance, sleep patterns, fatigue, sleep deprivation, memory, lack of sleep, and sleep loss were used. In total, 12 publications were included in this research project. Conclusions were drawn, and finally, the results were informed. Here are the results. The researcher found that a lack of sleep actually produces a series of short-term and long-term effects on an individual. Figure 3 presents us with the short-term negative effects of lack of sleep, which include affected memory or issues with retaining information, forgetfulness, trouble concentrating and lack of focus, irritability and or depressive mood, and fatigue and weight gain. As for the long-term negative effects, Figure 4 presents us with these, and these include mood disorders, increased chance of developing heart disease, increased blood pressure, height growth and poor weight gain, inflammation, kidney disease, and a greater chance of developing type 2 diabetes. The hypothesis was partially supported since even though certain negative effects were found to affect the aspects of academic life, insufficient data or information was retrieved to conclude that it directly affects a student's academic career. As for future works, the researcher would like to conduct an anonymous PSQI survey to 10th grade students ranging in the ages of 14 through 16, both male and female, in addition to investigating alternatives which may positively impact sleep issues for students and, in turn, may improve their academic career. These are the references and the acknowledgements. I would like to thank my mentor, Fabiola de Pagan Torres, Dr. Aradia, my school, CIMATEC, and the Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund for providing me with the wonderful opportunity to challenge myself as a researcher and to develop this project. Thank you for your attention. I will now be accepting any questions.
Perfect, Leila. Good. Angela, you have questions?
Yes. In your personal experience, have you had moments where lack of sleep has affected your personal academic performance?
Personally, yes. I have found that in nights where I stay up too late studying for an exam, for example, I may, the next day and during classes, I may have a lot of trouble staying awake. Maybe I'm a bit like irritated or it's more gloomy or sad. And I have a lot of issues with retaining the information in class, meaning I have to catch up after I get home or things like that. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? Angel, Elba?
Yes.
Perfect.
Laila, usually sleeping disorders are related to age. And then high school are really early age. Would that affect the, let's say, development of some other diseases through time for the people or something like that?
You're asking me if the high schooler's age affects the development of more
Any other problems, any other health problems in the future for those high school kids, or whenever they go to college or they go to work?
Okay, so
what is your opinion? Actually, that could be your opinion.
Oh, my opinion. Okay, so I think yes, it may affect since, well, as presented in my investigation, some people actually have greater chance of develop kidney diseases, mood disorders, or other issues with mental health or physical health. So yes, I think it would affect their college life
Good,
in
thank you.
future. Thank you for your question.
Leila, thank you very much for your presentation. Right.
Thank you.
Let's go to the next one. It's Normari Martinez. Normari, are you ready? Ready for?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Yes.
Dr. Arratia, after Normari
Yes.
present, can Adrian present?
No, after Normari, yes. After
Okay,
Normari.
thank you. Perfect.
Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we see your screen. Bye.
Okay.
Nice spot.
Well, good morning. My name is Maria Martinez Flores, and today I'm going to be presenting my poster about the relationship between household detergents and plant growth. This is my abstract. And have you ever wondered how detergents affect plants' growth? Well, that's what is my investigation about, and it's expected for the water-only sample and the eco-friendly detergent sample to grow, while the ACE detergent not so much. Introduction. This is figure 1, and it's showing the relationship of how the laundry detergents affect plants' growth. It is often seen that in a lot of daily products that we use that go down the drain end up in local water bodies. The AAA discharges an average of 243 million gallons of sanitary wastewater into reservoirs, estuaries, and the sea, treated at primary, secondary, or tertiary levels. This water is then consumed by plants, which can make plants' growth impossible since there's a chemical imbalance in the soil. The purpose of this investigation is to observe the effects of detergents in plant growth. The methods used were to plant coradium satavium seeds on 3 different pots, the control group being treated with normal water, and the experimental group treated with 2 different types of detergents, one being ACE laundry detergents and the other eco-friendly laundry detergents. The plants were watered with 10 milliliters daily and were measured weekly for a period of 4 weeks. And here on the left, we have the materials used, being ACE laundry detergent, eco laundry detergent measuring cups, the seeds, pots, and soil. For the results of stain, here we have table 1 as for plant in centimeters in the duration of the 4-week plant's growth. We can see the different pots that are water only, eco-friendly detergent dissolving water, and detergent dissolving water. We can see that the water only grew healthy in the period of 4 weeks. The detergent dissolving water didn't grow at all, and the most shocking one, the eco-friendly detergent dissolving water grew, but at week 4, it died. This is the diagram from the results obtained in table 1, and we can see a clear difference in plant growth between the control group and the variable group. For the discussion and conclusion, based on the present investigation, it can be concluded that the household detergents do in fact affect plant growth. The research hypothesis was correct, and this should spread awareness on the detergent usage, even if it improves the chances of a plant to live. For future works, we have continued testing with different plants and chemicals commonly found in households, compare pH levels on different types of plants exposed to other detergents, and study chemicals concentrations of different types of water. These are my references, and for the acknowledgements, I am very grateful to the Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund for the grant opportunity they gave me to be able to make my research, in addition to Dr. Juan Arriata and my mentor Fabiola Pagan for getting me through the process of preparing my investigation. Also, I would like to mention Abner Martinez for the endless support. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?
Yes, Keisla, do you have any question?
Yeah. Did you check the ingredients list of both the detergents and the eco-friendly detergent to see if there's a component that is common in all 3? And that may be the component that is actually affecting the growth of the plants?
Yeah, that's actually an excellent question. I made my research and I found out that the ingredients that really affect the plant's growth are the sodium, chlorambeach, and boron. And these have really negative effects on plant growth. But if you find detergents with potassium or ammonium and phosphate, it can be really good for like plant growth.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions to the audience? No? All right, let's go back to Brian. Okay. Brian, are you there? Try to.
Adrian.
Okay.
Oh, it's me, Adrian.
So are you able to show your
Yes.
poster or not?
Yes, I'm able.
Yeah, okay, good. Go ahead.
Do you see it?
Oh, we see a lot of stuff. And now we see the poster. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Adrián Escalera, and today I'll be presenting my descriptive investigation centered in the field of translational medicine, titled Pre-Diagnosis of Chronic Stress Related to Increase of Cortisol Levels. This is my poster. This is my abstract. Will the symptoms of chronic stress be related to the increasing cortisol? This is a question we're going to answer at the end of our research. Combating disorders that affect a high percentage of the population certainly is causing the use of research for the development of new treatments and diagnosis. Here we have the amygdala, the hypothalamus, which sends information to the pituitary, the adrenal glands, the kidney, and then it travels through our body, making the body react to stress. To put in practice our observations, 3 articles about chronic stress from previous investigations were analyzed. As a result, a questionnaire was designed with one question and 15 symptoms associated and not associated with chronic stress. Here is the molecular structure of cortisol. This is a hormone that gives a gluconeogenic action related to infections and operations. After making a qualitative analysis of the markers that produce stress, their measurement methods, and their effects, with one study of the Autonomous University of Barcelona, it was concluded that in fact, there is a relation between chronic stress symptoms and cortisol levels. In addition, the possibility of designing a non-invasive pre-diagnosis to measure stress levels related to the increase or decrease of cortisol levels is relatively high. Excessive methods of measuring stress exist, but not a non-invasive one with the capacity to be as effective. Finally, the hypothesis was partially accepted. It is possible to infer a relationship between all biomarkers of stress response and the symptoms experienced by the patients. My field works make reference to the one informed consent, administered the questionnaire, and take saliva samples to determine the efficacy and simplicity of this diagnostic. Another one is to investigate if the use of tryptophan, that is a hormone, helps balance the levels of cortisol found in the blood. Integrating an engineering goal will develop a non-invasive treatment that contributes to my main objective, treating chronic stress naturally. These are my references. And last but not least, I want to thank my research professor, Rocío Hernandez, Dr. Arratia, Fabiola Pagan, and the Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund for the grant. Thank you for attention. Any questions?
Yes, thank you very much, Brian, for your presentation. Keishla, do you have any questions so far?
Yes, in your questionnaire, how would you differentiate between people suffering from chronic stress and other mood disorders? Because things like anxiety have a lot of very similar symptoms to chronic stress, and they have a different treatment plan. So how would you decide if this person is suffering from chronic stress or other thing that presents very similar?
So I put in total 15 symptoms of chronic stress, and where 7 were non-stress, and the other 8 were related to chronic stress. The other 7 were, as you said, from anxiety, from amnesia, and from other neurological pathologies. So At the same time, I will be differentiating the symptoms that people present of chronic stress and the symptoms that people present from another pathologies.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other question to the Brian? No? All right. Thank you very much, Brian. And thank you very much, Keishla, for the evaluation of this student. All right.
Appreciate it.
Yes. All right, let's go to the next group. I would like to see if Michael Caraballo is here. Michael?
Good morning, I'm here.
Perfect, Michael. Thank you very much for coming, and remember that you start like this one, right? Remember just defending what you did many years ago. Now you are a PhD working for a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you are an NIH, you see, with a PhD, and you are looking forward. So I thank you very much for accepting the work of evaluating the new generation. All right. All right. Let's go with Abraham Mejias. That will be the first in the list. Elba, I'm not sure if you, because we had another Nidiana. I didn't see Nidiana in the audience. Can you help me just to evaluate this group to have a second opinion after Michael? Yeah, Abraham Mejia is the next one.
Okay.
Abraham, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Okay, let's share your presentation. Right?
Can you see it?
Yes, sir. We see your poster.
There we go. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Abraham Mejias. I'm about to present my research titled Innovating Special Minds. So this is my board. This is my abstract. And the main objective of my research was basically to help special education students to improve their cognitive skills and furthermore, have better achievements in their school years. My hypothesis was if I use a method called the multisensorial and integral associative method, or MIAM for short, they will improve these cognitive skills and they can take these students from full-time isolated classrooms to regular time classrooms. So I took a sample of 3 students from the condition of mild mental retardation and from the ages of 12 to 13 years old and from the IQ levels of 50 to 65. And basically, I evaluated 4 different skills that the student can learn in school, which is concentration, agility, memory, and mastery over the subjects of math and Spanish. So after an hour experimentation with them, I basically used these 2 graphs which represent 2021 is the teacher's method in last semester, and my method was used in 2022, and I made a comparison both in those subjects separately. So we can see that student 1 and 2 have more dominance over 2021 with the teacher's method, and in math as well, comparing to 2022. Obviously, the student 1, student 2, and student 3 are the same students in both timeline, in different points, both points in time. And student 3 had no significant difference between the 2 points of the data. So after this data was put in a graph, I put it on the SPSS 23 program, which is to find significant difference between these 2 points of data. And if the value was greater than 0.05, it means that it was significant, which it did by 0.335, meaning that the teacher's method was actually better than mine by a lot. So after an interview with the teacher told me that her method was basically more with technology, more PowerPoint presentations, Microsoft Teams, PowerPoints, videos, multimedia, etc. And the students were more dominant and more independent that way. So I came to the conclusion that students with mild mental retardation can be more independent and they can improve their cognitive skills using more technology than with the MIA method. basically they will have more interest on the technology and have more genuine dominance over it as well. So that's why they bring more dominance over it. So there were also limitations on this. First of all, I only have 1 day of bonding with them. They didn't know me that well, and these students were kind of nervous and during the process, and one of them got genuinely scared. And also I only had like 1 time with them for making this experimentation, which could have affected the results. As a future work, I want to introduce this technology to these students with the MIA method to see if this still has a possibility to be worked with. And obviously, I want to remake this study with students with the condition of autism. Before I conclude, I want to show my references, and I cannot conclude before thanking Dr. Juana Ratia for accepting me the Citizen Deployment Action Fund grant, to my mentors, Fabiola Pagan and Melissa, that guided me every single Saturday in this research, to my professor from scientific research, Rocio Hernandez, that she helped me every single day at school, to Professor Manuel Echevarria for the moral support that gave me in this research, and all my partners in my school as well. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Yes, Michael, do you have questions?
Yes, I have a couple of them. Very quick, Abraham. You mentioned that you basically only have 1 day with these students, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you're saying that these students seems to have better attachment approach with the technology. So you are trying now to get more time with them and technology, or you're just trying to use technology in 1 day?
Well, first of all, basically what I'm trying to I'm trying to use more technology for a future in research that has multiple days, just to not get the factor of the process of knowing me that well, you know, that going that attachment, because this was a sample that it was very difficult for them to process. So it is important for them to, you know, get into the trust of the evaluator, which is me. So I'm gonna try to use the technology with this same method that I used in 2022, and try to use it multiple days and see if there's some changes or improvements.
And when you have time with these students, where are you? Are you in the same school that these students attend? Do you have the teacher next to you? Are you alone in another room, or how the environment, the scenario change from the teacher and you?
Yeah, but okay, so basically I make this study in a different school than mine. This was I'm not in the same school as them, but I made the study only in a different, you know, different time and majorly was with a teacher that I do know because one of my parents worked there. So
perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your questions.
Yeah. Any other question? Elba, do you have any question from your perspective?
No, I don't.
Perfect. All right, let's move. Thank you very much, Abraham. It's very interesting what you're doing. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes. Let's go to Exiel Rodriguez Colon. Is his our next presenter? And is Exiel here? He's coming, right?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, and we can hear you and we can see your poster. Yes.
All right, so good morning. My name is Exiel Jair Rodriguez, and today I will talk about my scientific research titled Identification and Isolation of Fungal Endophytes in Medicinal Plants. This is the poster for my scientific research. This is my abstract. The research question is, will fungal endophytes be isolated and identified successfully in the selected medicinal plants? The researcher's hypothesis is that fungal endophytes will be found on all plants. The researcher's goal is to identify any fungal endophytes in medicinal plants. Endophytes are endosymbiotic fungi or bacteria that invade and colonize the plant tissue without harming their respective host. For the experiment, aloe vera and peppermint were the plants used, and the samples were disinfected using 70% ethyl alcohol. The samples were placed on an agar plate to create bacteria and fungi cultivation at ambient temperature, and the samples were dyed using a solution of iodine, distilled water, and glycerin. 7 days after, the samples were evaluated to identify any fungal endophytes and report findings. In the results, image A is aloe vera sample 1, and image B is peppermint sample 1. This is important because aloe vera sample 1 and peppermint sample 1 both presented fungal endophytes, while aloe vera sample 2 and peppermint sample 2 did not. In this case, considering the samples with fungal endophytes were from both aloe vera and peppermint, suggests that plant species is a factor that does not depend on the growth of fungal endophytes. This confirms that the researcher's hypothesis is only partially correct, since fungal endophytes were not found on all the 4 samples. The possible reason for why only 2 of the 4 samples presented fungal endophytes can be that the growth process of fungi in the samples was different. The differences are caused by the process of disinfection of the leaves using ethyl alcohol, or even by the status of the leaves, since nutrients from the leaves help create a microorganism cultivation. These are my future works. One of these is to compare the efficiency of slow-release granular fertilizers with water-soluble fertilizers when it comes to plant growth and development. These are my references. And my acknowledgements. I want to thank my family for always supporting me through this process, to the Department of Science of CIMATEC, especially Professor Milagros Caride Perez for electing me as a candidate to participate in this research, and to Dr. Aratia for handing out this amazing opportunity. I would also like to thank Fabiola Pagan for mentoring me throughout the research and the Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund for the grant. Last but not least, to my cousin Nicole Colon for helping me and giving me ideas during the research process. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?
Yes, Michael, any question for
Yes, I have one here. I was reading also the poster. I see that you have been working specifically with the medicinal plants. For my question is for you. The endocyte levels in these kind of plants, they are good, they are bad, because these plants are used for medicinal purpose. So do you think that based on the levels of the endophytes, these plants can be better or not that good for treatment purpose or not?
Well, the main purpose of finding fungal endophytes is specifically because of that, because fungal endophytes colonize the plant, but they do not harm the respective host. And normally, in medicinal plants, if you have fungal endophytes, it wouldn't really change the benefit it gives you for medical perspective, but it has been known specifically that fungal endophytes with medicinal plants are very good. For example, the fungal endophytes that inhabit Egyptian medicinal plants could be an effective source for bioactive compounds useful for developing better antioxidant, antibacterial, or anti-cancer drugs with good therapeutic index value. So the level of endophytes, I'm pretty sure it would benefit a little bit, but either way, fungal endophytes in medicinal plant is a positive contribution for human beings.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Any other question to this presentation by Excel? Yeah. No? All right. Excel, thank you very much. Your presentation and your response to the judge, in this case, Michael Caraballo, is very good. Okay. Let's move to the next presenter. It's Carolina Ferrer.
Okay,
Yes.
I will activate her. Can we have just 1 minute to talk about the evaluations and the judges? Because there is a question about the amount of students that some of them are judging. Can you just give us, a summary of the names of the students and the items? So while I am giving access to Carolina.
Carolina, okay, but I'm judging, okay? I have but a general one, okay? I'm just, I'm taking note and I'm basing my reference Michael. Michael is going to be my reference.
Okay.
He's a judge, okay? So I have that, and for the other, the same. You see,
Yes,
I have
and the question is from Fabio, is that he wants to know how many students he needs to
yeah,
evaluate.
Fabio, yeah,
Can
Fabio,
you write it down into the chat to him, only to
Yeah.
him, so he can know exactly which students is he evaluating right now?
No, but I sent an email this morning to
Okay.
Fabio, and,
check
and
the email.
yeah,
Okay.
he has the list. He has the list of the students that he's going to evaluate. Okay, and he's going to be, yes, sir.
Juan, but you changed that because
No, but
I told
I
you that
did.
you sent me Gabriela Molina, Eva Mendez, Yanira Núñez, Jorge Vázquez, y Deborah Wu. But then you told me to evaluate Marisol, Brian, Adrian, Laila, Normari, and so far, Abraham and Excel.
Angel.
What do you want us to evaluate actually? Because the numbers change when you started this part.
Well, I changed it because I add 1 or 2 students to the original message I sent you. What I would like to do at the end of the day, you see, I have my evaluation, I have the judges' evaluation, and I'm going to see what is the scale, okay? And that's what I want. For instance, for you, I have the original one, okay? I add Brian, I add 1 student is Brianna Perez, okay? And she was not part of
Carolina,
the
you
group.
can start sharing your screen.
Yeah, Carolina. So, just go. The other one was just a second opinion. Okay, when I say second opinion, it's like mine. You see, I'm going to be a third opinion in terms of the student. So the students are well evaluated. All right, are well evaluated. All right. Let's go now with Carolina and the judge we have in first. The main judge is Michael Caraballo. Okay, he's and I'm doing also some evaluation of the student. It will be the second opinion.
Okay, well,
all right.
Good morning.
Carolina, are you there? Yes.
Oh, sorry, I
you can
started.
start. Wow, the connectivity is very poor.
Carolina
Yes,
Ferrer,
I'm having
and
problems.
I will be presenting Regenerating the Liver. My abstract.
Okay, Carolina, can you restart because we didn't hear the first part? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the value of your machine is very low.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, but not very proud the volume. Why don't you just increase the volume?
Like, I'm not sure if how I can do that.
What is the machine at the top? You see, you had different.
I increase it at maximum volume.
Yeah, is the maximum value?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah. All right, Just,
I hear you
just start
perfectly,
now.
Carolina, okay?
Okay. Good morning. My name is Carolina Ferrer, and I will be presenting Regenerating the Liver with Stem Cells. This is my poster and my abstract. Introduction. So the liver has many important functions because it is responsible for many of the metabolic processes of the body, as it stores glycogen, and it releases bile, which helps with detoxification and breaking down fats in the body. Stem cells are unspecialized cells in the body that can become specialized depending on the environment they are being developed in. For my methodology, I read investigations where human liver stem cells were extracted from a hepatectomy, a surgery where you extract part of the liver, isolate and harvest these cells to create a culture. Then I read some investigations about 3D printing tissue and put many procedures together to form a proposal in order to have another alternative to finding livers, as it is very difficult since the lists are very long. The first part of the proposal is removing 5 to 20 grams of the liver, specifically the part of the lobes that contains the canals of herrings, because it is a rich site in stem cells. Then they will be isolated through a continuous single centrifugation process and finally produced in a medium so that the culture can, so the medium can develop them into hepatocytes, which are liver cells. Then we will bioprint the liver using bioink, which is a mixture of hydrogels and the tissue that we just cultured. And we will be monitoring the development of the organ with a computer. And finally, we will put the liver in dialysis so that it can carry out the regular functions a human carries out every day, and to expose it to situations to see how it may function. Additionally, we will monitor the growth because the liver can die, or it can not be as functional, or its longevity might not be as long as we may think it is. So in conclusion, phase 1 consists of extracting the cells and replicating them. Then we will build the liver using the bioprinter, and finally we will study it because this proposal or studies do not confirm the longevity and functionality of the organ. My future works include searching for small hepatocytes in humans because in rats, they have been identified as phenotypically different from hepatocytes. However, they help in the regeneration of the liver. So it could be another good alternative for regenerating the organ. These are my references. And I would like to thank Dr. Radia for giving me the opportunity to work in this investigation, and Fabiola Pagan for mentoring me throughout the whole process. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, please ask.
All right, thank you much, Carolina. Michael, do you have any questions?
Yes. So Carolina, this is very interesting actually because I'm working right now with neural stem cells. Our goal is not to make a bioprinting yet, but we are planning to expand 3D culture with neural stem cells. However, another coworker here is trying also to work with hepatocytes. So I'm kind of know a little bit of this, not that much, but just a little bit. So far, what you have here is the different stages of a project, right? And as you mentioned, you want to work with humans, liver cells. But however, working with that, as you may know now, you're going to need a lot of permission from, different institutes and agency. But you also mentioned about rat and mouse. Do you are going to try to bioprint also from the rat, or just starting with the rat and mice, working with the cell culture and then move to the humans?
Yes, that's the plan. First, we'd take like samples from these mice and rats and bioprint the organ made for them, start it and put it on dialysis as mentioned earlier. If anything seems fine for a period determined further in this investigation, they will be able to be transplanted into the organism and see if it can function correctly within the living species.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. All right. Any other questions from the audience? No question.
No, I don't have questions.
Okay. Carolina, thank you very much for your presentation. It was very good. Maria, Jove, and Carolina Lopez, you are here, right? So you
Dr. Arrotia, they both are not going to be presenting today because of the SAT.
Oh, the SAT, okay.
Yeah, the SAT test. They're taking it right now.
Yes, I know that. All right, perfect.
Are they going?
Okay, we go to the next
They
one.
made any video, Fabiola?
No, I told them, but they did not send me anything.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Carlos Lopez, Valcárcel.
Yes, I'm here. Are you able to hear me well?
Yes, very well, Carlos.
All right. Let me see if I can present. Do I have permissions at the moment or not yet?
Yes, you have permission to present.
Oh, okay, thank you. Let's see. All right, are you able to see well the presentation?
Yes, sir. We are right now seeing your poster.
All right, perfect. Well, greetings to everybody. My name is Carlos Manuel Lopez Barcalcel, and I will be presenting my investigation, Making Tax Season in Puerto Rico Worry-Free. Now, if you're an adult, I'm pretty sure you have paid your taxes. If not, then I'd be very worried because it would be considered tax evasion. But today we'll be looking at its counterpart, where it's tax avoidance, which is legal, and it's just basically reducing how much you pay in taxes, because Puerto Ricans currently face a situation where they have a high cost of living, and being able to reduce how much they pay in general by any means, and it is very important and really helps everybody. So Puerto Ricans usually have to give up about 1/3 of their income, or sometimes it can be less, but this 1/3 is very important. It can, again, go towards things like groceries, or even now like paying fuel. But for concerning going back to this project, for this project, we interviewed different certified public accountants to be able to see what are their common tax avoidance strategies that they implement on their clients, to be able to inform everybody on which ones they can apply and which ones could benefit them. And I'm not gonna say I'm not a certified public accountant, so if you really want to reduce your taxes, then I do recommend that you speak with one, since all tax avoidance strategies they're not a one size fits all. That's why we use two cases, for example, where we have case one, where, for example, we took a person who has a gross income of $100,000 and expenses of $25,000. We can see here that normally they would pay about $12,885. And there's this strategy called the optional compute tax that would actually reduce it to paying only $6,000. This is since the optional compute tax strategy makes the taxpayer only pay a percentage of their gross income instead of their net income. But then we have case number two, where it was a person who had a gross income of $100,000, but expenses of $75,000. And as we can see, since the optional compute tax only takes the gross income into mind, they would pay $6,000, which would be one of the highest numbers. What would greatly benefit case number two here would be using a limited liability company, which is nothing else than just a corporation with a special type of treatment, a KEO retirement plan, and tax credits. To reduce this number, instead of being $6,000 or $1,120, they only paid $614 in total for their taxes that year. And going to our conclusions, basically any person who has a gross income of $100,000 and has expenses that are more than $48,220, it does not benefit them to use the optional compute tax strategy. It benefits them to use the the limited liability company, the tax credits, and a Kia retirement plan. While anybody who has expenses lower than $48,220, it benefits them the most to use the optional compute tax. Finally, I would really like to thank Dr. Juan Arratia, my mentor, Natalia Rosado, the professors at CIMATEC, and all the certified public accountants that helped me find this information and to be able to share it as I am doing right now. Again, I thank you also for being able to be given this opportunity to be presenting in this symposium, and I will be taking any questions, comments, or doubts now from anybody.
Carlos, thank you very much for your presentation. Michael, do you have questions? You are the official judge.
Not really, sir.
Not really?
No.
Yes. Anybody else? Angel, you have any questions? So you pay taxes, right?
Yeah.
No question, we have to pay the taxes. That's the lifetime.
Yeah. No question then. Elba,
okay.
you have any question? Elba?
I'm sorry. Yes, I do have a question. I do have a question. Very quick.
Yes,
have
of course.
you heard about TurboTax?
Yes, I've heard about TurboTax. I think it's for filing your W-2, I think it's called, online.
Yes, you can file online. So I think this is just a comment. So you may find more information about TurboTax and how that is using artificial intelligence just to get you the results on what you can file your, how can you file your taxes, and then how much money do you need to pay or you can give back. I don't know if that works for Puerto Rico, but I'm just, throwing this to you so you can find out if there is an app or something that TurboTax do have for Puerto Rico, and that will improve your work.
Oh yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course. No, thank you. In the case
don't-
of this investigation, we spoke with certified public accountants, but definitely for any further investigations that come after this one, I think we'll be looking into TurboTax and all the online filing.
Okay.
Yes, I think that TurboTax is more for here in the state. I have been using TurboTax for a few years now. Of course, only for federal taxes. I have never seen anything about Puerto Rico in TurboTax, but I can be wrong, right?
In my case, I have seen some information from Puerto Rico, and if you are filing, it will ask you if you want to file in Puerto Rico. So that's why I just,
yeah, so maybe because or based on your address. If you are using a Puerto Rico address, maybe TurboFax, get the hint that, oh, this person might need to file also there. But yeah, it's a good resource for information.
All right, has been very informative. All right, Carlos. So thank you very much for your presentation.
No, thank you. Thank you.
I would like to thank Michael Caraballo for his judging job in this symposium. I wish you well, Michael, and let's talk later about possible exchange of students with your lab in a year.
Yeah,
all
we
right?
can try
Thank
something
you much,
here.
Michael. Yeah, thank you very much, Michael. All right, so let's go to the next segment. That is the last one. And here we have Fabio Alape, who is a professor at the University of Puerto Rico, Macao, and also officially Angel Arcelay is going to help us for the evaluation. Okay, the first student is Gabriela Molina and from CIMATEC. Okay, are Gabriela there? Gabriela here? Are you here?
I'm right here.
Perfect, Gabriela.
For
We are
my
all
presentation, I
yours,
was,
so let's share your screen with the.
yeah,
We
about
have
that.
access to that.
My mentor, Natalia Rosado, to present due to connectivity issues on my part. If you could, yeah.
Yeah, we see your poster right away.
Okay. Can you hear me well?
Yes, your level of volume is okay.
Okay. Well, hello, my name is Gabriela Molina, and the title of my investigation is Determining the Optimal Placement for Muscle Sensors on Amputees as part of a cost-effective rehabilitative device. The research question presented for the investigation was the following. What is the optimal placement for EMG muscle sensors on different types of amputees? Now, I will be discussing the results of this investigation. First and foremost, it is important to note how the first data readings taken in my previous investigation behaves. In the graphs titled EMG signal recognition, it can be seen that the data presented is in discernible patterns and the individual signal samples never touch, which is good for making ranges. The data for each graph was collected in the same means as the first data sets, and this was by a series of tests, such as putting my hand in a fist, in a stretch position, and in a rested position that would later help collect those same EMG signals. For the shoulder disarticulation area, there are some differences to note about the two graphs that are being compared. In the graph titled Pectoralis EMG signals, the data samples from each test overlap, and there isn't a very clear distinction that would allow for the creation of ranges in a program. On the other hand, the graph titled Infraspinatus EMG signals shows a mostly distinctive pattern for the data it holds up until the sample 3060. Compared to the graph titled EMG signal recognition, the ciphers are significantly higher for the rest values, and there is inconsistency with the stretch and fist values, making it hard to pinpoint data ranges. Overall, given the clear distinctions in the data, the most optimal placement for electrodes on the shoulder disarticulation area is on the infraspinatus muscle. Moving on to the other testing sites, I will be discussing the transhumeral area, which encapsulates the biceps, triceps, deltoid, pectoralis, and the infraspinatus muscles. Throughout these readings, the data for the fist and stretch test has similar behaviors. The similar behavior is detrimental to myoelectric prosthetics since it is impossible to construct reliable data ranges that are capable of telling the machine which pose to imitate. For example, in the bicep test, the fist and stretch readings share the same erratic behavior. And on the other hand, the pectoralis test as well as the deltoid test have data that overlaps to the point of being illegible. Those observations leave the triceps muscle as well as the infraspinatus muscle with the best data recognition in terms of legibility and distinctive data ranges. Last but not least, I will be discussing the transradial area composed of the wrist extensors and flexors and the radius and ulna. Although the number of graphs to compare is less, the data in them is noticeably far more complicated to distinguish. In the first graph, all the samples overlap, making it impossible to create ranges in a program. And in the second, the data samples from the fist test and the rest test overlap, creating issues with range creation as well. Due to the complications in seeing valuable data, it can be concluded that neither of these options serve as an optimal placement for electrodes. All in all, the hypothesis was partly supported, as it could be seen that one of the optimal placement was in the chest area, but it was disproved that the forearm could be a good placement area for electrodes. I would like to thank the Dr. Juana Ratia, my mentor Natalia Rosado, the Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund, and my professors at Timatec who helped me realize this project. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be taking any questions.
Thank you very much, Gabriela, for the presentation. Fabio, do you have any questions for Gabriela?
Yes, I have a question for the presenter. I have in your graphics a lot of data, How many data have you analyzed? About some numbers, some figures?
I took about 3,000 readings for each graph. But it was like multiplied by 3.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes. Any other question for Gabriela? No. Okay, thank you much, Gabriela, for this presentation. Great. Let's go to the second presenter of this group, Brianna Perez, from University Gardens School. Brianna, are you there?
Yes, hello, good morning.
Perfect. Good morning, Brianna.
Can you see me well?
Yeah, we see you, but not yet your poster. The poster is coming probably. Now we see the poster. Yes.
Okay, excellent. I will commence. 10 years ago, my mom was operated with a craniotomy to remove 3 cerebral aneurysms. Good morning, my name is Brianna Perez Lopez from University Gardens High School, and I'm here to present to you my investigation, which is titled The Relationship of Tobacco Use on Children and the Development of Cerebral Endovascular Aneurysms in Adulthood. And this is my complete poster. This is my abstract. My research question is it possible for children to develop cerebral endovascular aneurysms in adulthood caused by secondhand tobacco smoke? My hypothesis is that children can develop cerebral endovascular aneurysms in adulthood caused by secondhand tobacco smoke. Now, what is an aneurysm? As shown in the image, an aneurysm is an abnormal focal dilation of an artery in the brain that can result from a weakening in the inner muscular layer of a blood vessel wall. Cerebrovascular diseases are a group of conditions, diseases, and disorders that affect the blood vessels and blood supply of the brain. In a study of 275 people with aneurysms, the research team found that 72% of all aneurysm patients were smokers. Of those with ruptured aneurysms, 71% of them were smokers. During my methods, I researched original scientific articles searched via the Google Scholar database, with restrictions made to articles in any language and a time limit of 2018 to 2021. The research was performed using different combinations of terms such as tobacco, children, aneurysm, cerebral, endovascular, and adulthood. All articles selected for reference were included in this review with a total of 12 scientific publications. My results include that mostly children are affected by secondhand smoke, or SHS. When children are exposed to such, they can develop many problems. It is found that children are affected by neurobehavioral disorders, and some studies have shown that it can cause endovascular diseases. In conclusion, secondhand smoke on children is a tremendous factor for them to develop cerebral endovascular aneurysms in adulthood, since in most studies, nearly all the patients were smokers. In the future, I would like to interview people who have been diagnosed with the condition and add cardiovascular studies to see if there is a correlation existing between the two variables and investigate new ways to treat cerebral endovascular aneurysms without using coil embolization or a craniotomy. These are my top 5 references, and if interested, I can gladly share the rest of them. And lastly, I would like to acknowledge Dr. Arratia for giving me such an incredible opportunity to work on an investigation I am so passionate about and to develop myself as a scientific investigator, and to Fabiola Pagan for guiding me and mentoring me throughout the process and giving me the correct tools to create the best version of my investigation. I am extremely grateful for the Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund for the grant. Finally, I would like to give thanks to my mom, Arlene Lopez, for giving me the constant love and support I need and for being the biggest inspiration for my investigation. Thank you for your attention. Is there any questions?
Yes, Brianna, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank
you. Fabio, do you have a question for Brianna?
Yes, what is your opinion about the Google Scholar database for this type of works?
Well, the Google Scholar database was actually extremely helpful, but at the time I was doing research, it is not very expressed on any database, not only Google Scholar, but PubMed and everything else. they don't talk enough about children and smoking. So I believe there should be more research done.
Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Thank you very much. Any other question? Angel, you have any question?
No question, but are doctors aware of children having these problems when they take care of them? The pediatrics doctors?
Well, it's not an actual like issue that doctors are exactly looking for, but as I mentioned, it should be, because many children are exposed to secondhand smoke from their parents, relatives, so that it should be a main issue that they should be aware of when doing a normal examination for the pediatrics.
All right. Thank you very much, Brianna, for this
Thank you.
presentation. All right. Let's go to the next one, to Eva Mendez from Dominican Republic, Colegio Cardenal Sancha, Santo Domingo.
Yeah.
Are you ready, Eva, for the presentation?
Yes.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop the recording and start the recording again.
Yes.
Can you present her again? I will